PlayStation Plus monthly games for September are confirmed, Sony is raising PS Plus 12-month prices, Spider-Man 2 space requirements are revealed, and an indie game launching this week has successful sales. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Sony has announced the PlayStation Plus monthly games for all users next month, and some awful news regarding prices for all tiers. First, PS Plus in September includes the leaked Saints Row as we talked about in a previous video this week. The reboot from Volition was not very well received last year due to bugs and boring world design, despite having some fun missions. The game now has received several patches, free and paid content. Then we have Black Desert Traveler Edition from Korean developer Pearl Abyss, the ones working on the new Crimson Desert. It's an open-world fantasy MMORPG released in 2019, and the Traveler Edition has the base game and multiple DLCs. It got fair reviews back in 2016 as it was a beautiful game but one that lacked any soul, and was a convoluted mess. Last is Generation Zero from Systemic Reaction, an Avalanche software label. It's an open-world adventure set in a hostile 1980s Sweden, where you can play either solo or with up to 3 friends to combat mechanical enemies in what some people call Left 4 Dead with robots. If Left 4 Dead wasn't very good because this game was also not well received by critics back then, as it was buggy, had an empty open world and awful co-op design. Just taking into account the average scores for these games makes it easily the worst month in 2023, and the worst month in the past 4 years. The lowest I have on record is October 2020, back when they were only giving 2 games with Vampire and Need for Speed Payback with a 66, and this month is even lower than that. Granted, numbers don't tell the whole picture and you can find enjoyment in a game someone else considers bad, plus all these games have received patches and new content since then, so media consensus may be outdated. Something tells me it's not, but if you try them, let us know in the comments. These games will be available from next Tuesday, September 5 until Monday, October 2nd, so now's your last chance to download August games PGA Tour 2K23, Dreams, and Death's Door, which leave on September 4th. Now into the bad news, Sony is increasing the prices of PlayStation Plus yearly subscriptions between $20 to $40 on all tiers and all regions. PlayStation Plus Essential goes up $20 from $60 to $80 or the equivalent in your region. Extra goes up $35 from $100 to $135, and Premium up by $40 from $120 to $160. This only applies to yearly plans, and the monthly and quarterly plans are staying the same. This year has seen several subscription services in the entertainment industry raise prices, and this one comes 2 months after Microsoft did the same for Xbox Game Pass. Furthermore, just this week a report from Circana indicated subscription models in gaming are not going up as they used to in the past 3 years. Sony's latest financial report shows that new PS Plus subscribers only grew by 2% when comparing Q4 to Q3 in fiscal year 22, and it was flat compared to the whole fiscal year 21. The move by Sony clearly takes this into account, and the company is trying to earn up to 35% more from whatever the amount of subscribers remaining on Plus. It's an awful move for consumers when Sony is making record numbers from PS5 consoles sold. Essential at $80 being required to play online is absurd when you consider their competitor is still keeping a basic subscription to play online at $60, even if they change some benefits. And it's even worse compared to PC, where paying to play online is a non-existent concept. Extra was giving a lot of value for its price, and at $135 you could probably still make the case for it, especially for someone who is buying a PS5 for the first time, as for the price of 2 games you get a library that has several first-party exclusives, third-party games and indies. But even so, it's a steep price to pay, so you wouldn't be wrong if you say it's not worth it. The worst change by far is Premium, as the tier barely gets new classics every month, and while it has a library of classics, some of those PS2 games are broken, and the PS3 ones are streaming only. It was already hard to recommend having Premium at $120, now at $160 it's not worth it at all. This move is exacerbated by the fact they are announcing it during the worst month of Plus in the past few years. There's no added benefit to this price increase outside of Sony's PR saying these new prices enable them to continue bringing high quality games and value added benefits to the subscription. That's my take, but what do you think about all of this? Voice your opinion in the comments below or look out for the polls regarding both games and price change in the community tab. It appears that this price increase for PS Plus is a further indication that a state of play is coming soon, as per industry insider Jeff Grubb. He tweeted that the event is coming and this change for PS Plus is a lead-in for that. Since the underwhelming PlayStation showcase in May, fans have been eager for a new PlayStation event, and Sony has previously held a state of play events in September. At the same time, the rumors for this are kind of annoying to follow since they always point out to the next month, and when it doesn't happen, it's the next one, and so on. I guess we'll see. Moving on, Spider-Man 2 is launching for PS5 in less than 50 days, and with influencers getting the new console bundle, now we know how much space the game requires. The back of the box indicates it requires a minimum of 98 GB of SSD space. It may or may not be less than that after you take into account day one patches and all of that. This puts Spider-Man 2 a bit higher than God of War Ragnarok, which was 84 GB, and close to Horizon Forbidden West when it launched at around 90 GB. Next we have the sales results of Sabotage Studios' love letter to the JRPG of the 90s with Sea of Stars. The developer announced on Twitter they managed to get 100,000 copies sold on day one across all platforms, and that's considering the game launched on both PS Plus Game Catalog and Xbox Game Pass. This is awesome because it surpasses their previous game The Messenger, which only got 50,000 units across PC and Switch after a week of launch. With Sabotage co-founder Martin Brewer explaining on Game Industry he was happy with the reviews for The Messenger, but slightly less so with the game's actual sales. Now with Sea of Stars they got great reviews and great sales results, so congrats to the team. CD Projekt Red held its quarterly earnings call yesterday, and they shared some development details on the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 DLC and the next Witcher game. Regarding Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty and why it is the only expansion the game will receive, Senior Vice President Michal Dawakowski said, "This is the only expansion of the game and it has nothing to do with the numbers and how satisfied or not we are with sales or anything of the kind." He continued explaining that it's a technological reason. "This is the last time we're working on the Red engine for the time being at least, and in the foreseeable future you know we are working on the Unreal Engine from Epic." CD Projekt signed a 15-year partnership with Epic in March last year, where they will collaborate on improving Unreal Engine 5 for open world games. As for the next Witcher game, they said that currently a team of 300 people is working on the pre-release phase for the Cyberpunk DLC, while their Polaris team has grown to 260 developers at the end of July. They will further transfer a big part of the Cyberpunk team to Polaris once the DLC launches. Time for some quick updates and new releases. Bethesda may be about to launch Starfield, but now they are looking into their next title, The Elder Scrolls 6. Head of Publishing Pete Hines spoke with Vandal and he said their team was focused on Starfield, but the next Elder Scrolls was out of pre-production and into early development. The big question is if it will be released on PlayStation platforms, and back during the Microsoft vs FTC trial, Phil Spencer said the game was 5+ years away and the platforms were undecided. Patapon's spiritual successor Ratatan is entering the final hours of its Kickstarter campaign, which ends on September 1st. To mark the occasion, the team will be hosting a live stream on Friday at 5 AM Pacific, 8 AM Eastern, talking about the latest progress on the game, future roadmap, fan events, and more. So far they have made $1.2 million, while the original pledge was for $136,000. It has cleared 18 stretch goals with the console versions confirmed very early on. Most developer Polyarc has announced their next project is a live service game. Glassbreaker is a 1 vs 1 real-time board game where you battle against another player for control of the board using 3 champions. It's on early access for Quest 2 only, but it will arrive on PSVR 2 and SteamVR later with crossplay. The Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remasters have been delayed. Konami posted a statement on Twitter saying that despite the very best efforts of their development team to release them in 2023, they require additional time to ensure the quality performance and gameplay experience their users deserve. It will launch for PS4, Xbox One, Switch and PC, but no new release date was given. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Let us know in the comments below, Give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback. Check out more content you may like as well, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!